3 long years passed after the release of Psycho before Hitchcock made his next film. It was his intent to outdo himself.
Well, The Birds is an attempt in a certain way to take Psycho one step further and make a kind of Judgment Day movie, you know, in which kind of an apocalyptic event takes over, an invasion of birds.
But for the 62-year-old director, the making of The Birds presented the greatest technical challenge of his career. With its numerous, complicated bird sequences, the film required special effects that had not yet been invented.
Technically, a film of that nature in its day was impossible.
To meet the impossible, Hitchcock assembled a team of visual technicians who, marshaling all the existing technology, produced 371 special effects shots. There's rear screen projection, animation, matte paintings, and puppetry. The film's greatest innovation was in combining all these visual elements in as many as 5 layers to illustrate the frightening bird attacks.
What he was really doing was inventing the special effects film as we know it today. Birds predate Star Wars, and without it, there never would have been a Star Wars.
Hitchcock knew visual effects alone would not give the birds their terrifying presence. If they didn't sound real, they wouldn't feel real. Hitchcock soon found an ingenious solution.
Halfway through the shooting, this mad inventor from Germany sent him a letter saying, I've got this cool way to do sound effects with an electronic composer. And over Universal's dead body, he said, this is the way we're doing the sound.
The resulting soundtrack brilliantly substituted an electronic soundscape for a traditional music score, creating the illusion of a claustrophobic world besieged by killer birds.
And it was, again, a complete revolution.
But the birds could not have been made if not for the help from actual birds, hundreds of them. In the climax of the movie, Tippi Hedren is savagely attacked by hordes of birds. Unbeknownst to her, Hitchcock wanted to use real birds to shoot the scene.
So when Tippi Hedren showed up for work, instead of 4 or 5 mechanical birds, she suddenly found herself confronted with an avalanche of real live birds.
For 5 days, Hitchcock had birds continuously thrown at the actress and tied to her legs, arms, and torso. Tippi Hedren was so traumatized by the shoot that she suffered a mental and physical breakdown.
She had to take about 5 days off afterwards, and they had to film her next couple of scenes with a photo double.
When the camera finally stopped rolling on the birds, Hitchcock knew he had on his hands a cinematic masterpiece.
It's a typical Hitchcock exercise on the dangers of complacency. Don't relax and think those birds are just sitting up on there. They might just turn around and kill you.
They're coming! They're coming!
Now that you've seen the story behind the movie, stay tuned for The Birds as AMC presents Universal Hitchcock next.
What happens when nature goes berserk? Hello, I'm Sharon Stone, and I am pleased to welcome you to AMC's presentation of Universal's Hitchcock. Tonight, our feature is The Birds. The Birds is a vivid example of how Hitchcock loved to find menace in the most innocuous things. Here, terror, death, and destruction are brought about by seagulls, sparrows, and other genial domestic species. What makes it especially disturbing, though, is that this film offers no explanation for why they attack. And since there is no cause, the unsettling implication is that there can be no solution. Even Hitchcock said that he intended The Birds to be his own vision of the apocalypse. By the way, this film had one of the most famous teaser ad campaigns ever. So if you were around in 1963, there was no way you could have escaped newspaper ads and billboards all across America warning, to the chagrin of grammarians, "The Birds is coming."